Hi friends, very good morning to all of you and welcome to detailed editorial discussion. Friends, in this session I am going to discuss an important article that has appeared in the Financial Express newspaper yesterday. Friends, the article is E-commerce is a great ally of MSMEs. Friends, this article is written by Peter George and he is the director of Amazon Business. Friends, whenever you see discussion about the e-commerce and the small businesses, we get to see the negative aspects more. So here in this article, as it is written by the person from within that establishment, so the article focuses on the positive impact of e-commerce when they do business with the MSMEs, so micro, small and medium enterprises. And this is important that we should also be aware of the positive impacts of e-commerce and the relationship between e-commerce and the MSMEs, because when you get a question in mains examination, generally they will ask both sides of the topic. I mean, they will ask you to give positives and negatives, and then they will ask you to give your own conclusion. So in this context, it is very important that we also aware of the positive impacts of e-commerce business and its alliance with the MSME sector, that is small businesses. Right friends, we will go into details. First, we need to understand the GST and its requirements vis-a-vis the MSME sector. Right friends, from the time of its inception in July 2017, GST has undergone many amendments, and even today, businesses need to put in effort in undertaking the GST compliances. So, as you all know, n number of changes have been brought in the GST mechanism in order to simplify the process of compliance, but still a lot of effort takes place to comply with the GST mechanism, especially for the small businesses, MSME sector. Right friends, the government is taking steps to simplify the GST filing process to address the compliance concerns of MSMEs. As you all know, there is a complaint that the compliance cost is higher for small businesses when we compare to bigger businesses. So in order to address this concern, the government is taking various steps from time to time. Right friends, the intention is to make it simple and to keep up with the spirit of digital India. So the spirit behind these many changes is to make the GST compliance process simple, and in order to realize the goal of digital India. Right friends, why if we examine the importance of complying with the GST structure, because we need to have a good taxation system, and we have to improve our tax collection and as well as the adherence to taxation rules and regulations. So because of that, it becomes very important to comply with the GST structure. Right friends, all taxpayers registered under the GST need to comply with its rules and regulations. Right friends, to monitor how businesses are adhering to GST regulations, the government is constantly updating profiles of registered persons on GST portal, which can be checked. So in order to ensure there is 100% compliance of GST, the government is constantly updating the profiles of registered persons on the GST portal. Friends, as a seller, one has to ensure invoices are rightly issued and uploaded in the GST return for the buyer to avail credits. So as a seller, he has to ensure that invoices are rightly issued and uploaded in the GST portal. Okay friends, as a buyer, one needs to ensure that invoices are correct so that there is no tax credit loss. Friends, as you all know, GST follows the input to tax credit method. So as a buyer, one needs to ensure that invoices are correct so that there is no loss of input tax credit. Right friends, so these are the compliances that a buyers and sellers are to make, and in this context we have to examine the challenges faced by the MSME sector in this front. Right friends, while GST began with the different forms for inward and upward supplies, so one form for inward supply, another form for outward supply, and as well as a monthly return. And at present, taxpayers need to furnish two single returns on a monthly basis. So earlier they have to furnish 3 forms, now they have to furnish only 2 forms. So the process has been simplified. Right friends, to further ease the compliance of MSMEs, the GST Council approved implementation of a new return filing system. So what is that new return filing system? So that is going to come into effect from it came into effect from 1st January 2021. That is, GST taxpayers having an aggregate annual turnover up to 5 crore rupees, they are required to fill 4 GSTR 3B forms against the previous 12. So for every month, earlier every month they have to file a form. Now they have to file a form only for a quarter. So they have to file a GSTR 3B form for every quarter. So in this way also the compliance mechanism has been simplified. Right friends, another important aspect is educating the taxpayers. Right friends, educating on this relatively new law is one of the challenges due to its ever evolving nature. So there are many changes in the GST mechanism, GST system, and relatively it is a new system for us. So because of these two reasons, there needs to be a there needs to be an educating process to make the taxpayers comfortable with the GST system. Right friends, some areas around GST compliance that are noteworthy are real-time uploading of invoices and actions to claim input tax credit. So some noteworthy things are real-time uploading of invoices and actions to claim input tax credit. Right friends, a pain point here is that small businesses must devote time and have dedicated personnel for this. So the pain point, the problem for small businesses is they have to dedicate time and as well as manpower towards this compliance. So because of this, the compliance cost, the doing business cost increases for MSMEs, and they may run out of their business also. Right friends, if we examine the issue of multiple vendors, right friends, businesses that deal with multiple vendors have to ensure that every time they get an invoice, their GST number is accurately printed on it, because this becomes very important when claiming the input tax credit. Right friends, when this does not happen, the invoices become non-compliant. Also, for non-compliance by vendors, businesses can end up losing 5 to 28% of ITC, input tax credit. So when the GST numbers are not properly marked or correctly reported, there is a chance of the entities that are doing business might lose input tax credit up to 5 to 28%. Right friends? Dealing with multiple vendors adds to the hassle of handling physical invoices and different formats. So when multiple vendors are there, it becomes a big problem of handling physical invoices of different formats. The forms will be in different format, so handling them becomes very difficult. Right friends, businesses need to put in extra effort in keeping track of these invoices and uploading them on the GST portal. Okay friends, this further increases chances of error and the risk of being non-compliant. So when there are number of vendors and they are giving the invoices in different formats, so processing them, also uploading them in the GST portal becomes very difficult, and there is a risk of those forms becoming non-compliant. So friends, in this context, the role of e-commerce like Amazon business comes into picture, right friends? It is here that e-commerce platforms can help MSMEs ease their GST compliance issues. So e-commerce will help the MSMEs, the small businesses, in complying with the GST mechanisms, uh, GST, GST regimen. Right friends, how business to business e-commerce addresses these challenges, right friends? as msmes as MSMEs shift to online marketplaces to expand their business, e-commerce platforms can help MSMEs ease their burden in undertaking the GST compliances. Right, friends? They can leverage various benefits by getting access to GST compliant invoices. So this is very important. The e-commerce companies will give access to GST compliant invoices, and in one centralized location, and saving the time and effort they put in to follow up with different suppliers. So the MSMEs will get GST compliant invoices at a single centralized place. So this will help the MSMEs save their time and manpower also. Right friends, as a buyer, one business once businesses update their GST number on e-commerce platforms, every invoice would carry their GST number. So only one time they have to give their GST number. So each and every time, every invoice issued by them will carry the GST number. Right friends, similarly, e-commerce platforms carry lakhs of products with a GST compliance badge, and are equipped with filters that help MSME buyers connect with only purchases. So this will also get simplified. Right friends, similarly, e-commerce platforms are also integrated with data analytics to help understand spending and input tax credit details to plan budgets better. So the e-commerce platforms come with integrated data analytics and even with artificial intelligence. So the presence of these technologies helps the small businesses understand their spending and as well as the input tax credit details to plan their budgets accordingly. Right friends, so in conclusion, as a seller, MSMEs can leverage the same e-commerce systems and have tax compliant invoices generated and get access to periodic reports which come handy at the time of undertaking monthly or quarterly GST compliances and audits. So the MSMEs will be benefited both ways, as vendors on the e-commerce platforms and as well as the sellers. So in these two roles, the MSMEs will get to benefit when they join with the e-commerce platforms. Right friends, e-commerce is a great ally of MSMEs and is becoming a pillar of support for them by helping them manage indirect spendings. So helping them manage indirect spends, make buying more convenient, and aiding in GST compliance, thus improving their profitability. So in all these ways, the e-commerce businesses are going to help the MSME sectors when they both align. So friends, as I told earlier, the article focuses only on the positive aspects of the tie-up between the e-commerce companies and as well as the small businesses, MSMEs. So when you get a question on the examination, you have to give two sides of the topic, that is positive aspects and negative aspects. So in many newspapers you will get to see the negative aspects. So from this article you can get the positive aspects also, and you can weigh the net benefits and issues, and you can come to your own conclusion. Right friends, this is all about this article, and thank you for joining me. See you next time. Have a good day.